we got to save lost souls. All right, moving on, more lost souls. Like, hold on. Because we also need to shepherd the lost souls that were saved. Like, it's important. As important, I would say, as like reaching those people, teaching them how to continue walking in the light. Like, how do they study scripture? How is their prayer life? How are they sharing their testimony and reaching other lost people? Like, if your urgency is for the lost, then there's no better way to carry out that mission than to, I know this is a buzzword that we love to use, especially in the SBC, but to multiply those disciples. Where did you think I was going?
I thought you were going with disciplism.
Oh, no, I don't. I can't define that, so no thanks.
Nobody can.
And I'm glad you didn't.
No, to multiply disciples, right? Like, if somebody raises their hand and says a prayer in church, like, it doesn't end there. I need to know that like they are walking well with the Lord, and an outpouring of that is that they are then going to out of like the abundance of joy and love and peace and grace that like the Lord has given them, they're going to then go and share that message too. And there's no better way to achieve a desperate longing for lost souls than to make those disciples.
For sure. It's like the Ephesians 4:12, like equipping the saints for the work of the ministry. Like, you got to have both wings. And I think in the evangelical faith as a whole, we're probably a little lopsided, right? We're really good at making converts. We're really terrible at making disciples. And that I would love to do a whole episode on that because I have theories and thoughts. But yeah, it's a great point. It's a good call out.
Yeah, nice. Oh, we're both working through The Soul Winning Church by Jay Metters.
It's so good.
Have you read The Soul Winner by Spurge? A little short pamphlet book. Talks some about that too. Yeah. He said, one of my favorite quotes, you can't decide, or we decide in half a minute what takes a lifetime of proving. That's good stuff. Yeah,
well, I think one of the eye-opening things for me from that book too was like, especially as a preacher, like often our application, this is true for preachers everywhere, is just like, all right, I don't really know what to end with this passage, so like go and share the gospel.
Yeah.
And then when your people hear that, they're just like, first they view it as like running a marathon. They're like, okay, I'm not equipped for that. Like I can't. I've never trained for that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to prep for that. And we just expect people to just go do it. And it's like, okay, but what kind of people do we need to be? Like, what training regimen do we need to go through? Like, what habits do we need to build? What disciplines do we need to build? And that's what he's talking about, where it's like, you need to know how to pray if you want to like evangelize the lost. You need to know what your scripture says if you want to evangelize. So I think that's great application on there. Yeah.
I'm restraining myself because I want to go off on a tangent, but I'm not going to because it's your episode, not mine.
For you.
But I think I know which one. Is this the conversation we had a couple weeks ago about the whole evangelism and when we were doing the pumpkin painting carving event?
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
yeah.
right.
Just in that, like, I think some like people with the gift of evangelism are naturally strong personalities and very outgoing, and I think their natural bent is to feel like everybody should have the spiritual gift of evangelism, and if they don't, then they're living in sin. So then you end up with a lot of like Christians who feel guilt that they're not walking around Target like handing out tracts to people all the time. And it's like, that may not be their gifting, not that they're exempt from advancing the kingdom in some way, but like, you don't want me walking around Target sharing the gospel with everybody I meet. I will turn more people away from Christ because that's not my strength and that's not my gifting. So don't.
But it's also not, you're not saying it's an excuse never to. You're just saying some people, that's their calling. Like, that's, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But those people who have that calling tend to feel like everybody should have that calling.
Sure.
So we need to be careful for that. But that's a whole other